We are live. Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. I am here with Teresa, my web designer, for Website Wednesday. We are getting ready to revamp my website, so I'm really excited and I'm learning from all these topics also along with you guys. So welcome, Teresa.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. This is a good topic today.
It is a good topic, and I did put a link to your blog. So,
Oh, great.
are you doing a blog a week? Because this has been very impressive. Or are we going backwards on past blogs?
No, this is new blogs. This is new content that I'm doing every week, and I will probably continue this for quite a while. So, I have a lot to share, so it's easy to do
That's
it.
fantastic. I think I said this last time. I always think we're going to run out of topics, and we never do. So I'm impressed that you're doing blogs every week. I used to do that. I have pulled back to once a month, and it's so much easier. So let's talk about questions to ask before hiring a web designer. This is a good topic.
This is a great topic, and I want to give a little bit of a shout out. So last week we talked about, the platform to use, because there's a lot of people who want to go the DIY route. They want to get out there and they want to go the DIY route. And so I have launched that quiz so people can kind of figure out where they want to begin. But as some of the people dove into looking at what it is to build their website, they realized maybe I want to hire a designer. So knowing what platform you want to begin with still hands down is the place to begin. And so the quiz is still going to help you, because every designer is going to specialize in one or two platforms. And that's the first thing that you want to talk to that designer
Really?
about is,
Hold on, Teresa, you froze for a minute. So go back about 10 seconds or so.
okay. So I think the first question is knowing what design platform you want and finding a designer that works in that platform. Now, there's a lot of people out there who are web designers. They're new, they're getting started, they're learning their business, and they're going to tell you, I work in everything. Here's the reality. A solid web designer is going to specialize in one or two platforms. They're not going to work in everything. Yes, I can help with everything, but when it comes to building a brand new site, I'm going to go where my zone of genius is, and that's going to be WordPress or Squarespace, because those are the sites that I work really, really well in. But everybody, you want to know what they work in. So if somebody flat out says, I am a Shopify designer, but you're not launching an online store, why are you going to pay them the fees to be a Shopify designer? Because it's not the platform for you. So you want to know where you want to begin, and you want to know what platforms they work in, because that's who you want to be talking to, not just any web designer out there.
Okay, and I totally see that. And this always, and I'm a broken record sometimes, but this is where I don't want a designer or business owner to say, I don't know anything, that's why I hire you. Like, no, you have to have at least the, 50,000 foot view of certain softwares to figure out which one is good for you. Don't just hand over all your power to somebody and say, go do it. That's why I hired you. And I think there's a lot of misinformation coming from coaches, like stay in your genius zone and just give it away. I find when you give it away without having at least some knowledge of it, you end up being unhappy. I don't think they're doing right by me. I don't think it's taking them too long. Like you get all the complaints. So you need to know a little bit.
It's not going to be a good fit. And that's, again, back to the quiz. And in that blog post, there's a link to that quiz. It's going to help you figure out what's the primary purpose of your website and where you need to begin. Even if you're hiring a designer, you want to do that. So yes, you need to find somebody who is going to work with what you need, first of all.
Right. Okay. That's number one.
That's number one. Number two, so ask them, be real specific. What is included in your design package? Every web designer does this differently. Some are going to charge you more for on-site SEO. Some, like myself, it's part of the package. It's built in. It's all inclusive. Some are going to connect your Google Analytics. Some won't have anything at all to do with that. Some will help you find the stock images that you need for your website if you're going to utilize stock images, and some are going to make you do the work to get out there. So you need to find out exactly what is included. Are they going to provide you with hosting, or are you going to host it yourself? Are you, there's a lot of things that you need to know what's in the design package, and then ask yourself, is this really the right fit for me? So you've got to know what exactly it declares. And so for you, like, you know, I sent you that proposal, very detailed outline, every software I'm going to use, every deliverable point, all of that stuff is outlined exactly because you need to know what your design package is going to include.
Right, but if I had never done it before, if you're brand new or you've never been involved in your own website, these questions that you outline in the blog post is going to be a starting point, right? To
Right.
ask the right questions and what deliverables are going to be expected of you and in what time frame, so you can make sure you have the space in your calendar to do that.
Right. Well, and that's the next thing. What do you need from me to get started? Because you're going to have to provide your web designer with content, with expectations, with, you know, you're going to have to write a story. You're going to have to put together the service descriptions, those kind of things. But they're going to want to know a little bit more from you in order to keep that our project on track. So ask them up front, what do you need from me to get started? Because you could have all of that ready to go before you begin the design process itself, so that your project stays on track and you're not falling behind and putting your web designer behind.
Right. But you know what? I don't know. I know that I'm very visual. Like, I can tell you, this is the wording I want on this page. And then when I see it, I go, I don't like that.
You gave a starting point. It's not going to be perfect. What you provide initially, when you see it translated onto a web design screen, you're going to revise it. I mean, like, just be real. It's going to get revised. The web designer knows this. You know this.
Okay, good.
Yeah, not a big deal. But I literally had a client hand me something like this, like a stack of Post-it notes, and wanted me to develop her site. Like, I've got to have a little bit more because you're not going to be happy with what it is. And this was early on in my design days, and I got really good at asking questions. So I was getting that more after that. But you've got to start somewhere and give a starting point.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions that we didn't cover yet?
Oh, I have so many of them, but we don't probably want to go through all of them. Let me look through quick. Process for change and revisions. So you want to check out the blog post. It's got all of this. But what is that process for change and revisions? There are some web designers out there who say, I will do 2 revisions or something like that. Like, I mean, they're very rigid at what they're going to do. And you have to send me those revisions by this time or date or whatever. They're very rigid. You need to know what that is, because if they're not going to do anything more after the fact, and I'll be honest with you, after 30 days of having your website, you're going to want some revisions probably. You're going to see how things are working for you, not working for you. Even 6 months, you may see something. And so ask them, what is the process and how long do I have you? You know, I spend a year at least with my clients, and then they have an opportunity to renew a maintenance contract with me at the end of the year. But you get a year with me, so that as you and the website evolve and you start to be more clear in your message, you've got somebody there to help you.
Yes, I love that. And I think that is key, because I see a lot of my clients who are very unhappy with their web designers, because it was kind of like I did it, goodbye, and now they're busy and they're on to the next clients and they don't have the support they need.
And that's going to lead to the last question I want to share. There's 10 questions on the blog post, and I give you a handout you can download and print so you have them available when you go to interview a web designer. So you can just print that. No email address, just a free download. But the last thing is, what happens after the launch of my website? Because you're right. So many designers design and disappear.
Yep.
That's it. They say they're there, but they quit responding. You want to know what happens after it. And I would say, even if they say, oh, I'm here to help you, get that in the contract. Make sure that they say, I give you 90 days support, or I give you this. Get it put into the contract so that you have something to make sure that you've got a good working relationship after the launch of your website. And I would look for somebody who is always going to be there, who offers more than a 30-day, 60-day support, honestly.
Definitely. That's one of the things that drives me crazy. Service being gone immediately when the project is over, when it comes to a web designer, it drives me crazy, which is why I still recommend you to all my clients, because you have yet to have a negative iota, not one word about the service you have given to the clients that I have recommended to you, which is why I continue to recommend you, right?
Yeah, thank
Right?
you. Well,
So,
I still have a relationship with every client I've ever worked with, but two. And that was early on in the days, and we just weren't a good fit. And I learned to say no to the not good fit after that. So, yeah.
just like I teach my clients, say no to the people who are not a good fit because they will forever haunt you. So
Yeah.
you do the same thing. That's
Yes.
good. That's good. All right. All right, everyone. So go have a great Wednesday. If you are getting ready to update your website or need assistance with your website, please contact Teresa. We also have those of you who are members of my membership site. If you're still a member in December, the November people who are paying full price for my membership site are getting a Instagram audit this month, or starting next month, couple of days in November. And if you're still a member of my membership site in December, Teresa will actually be doing a website audit on all your websites. So there's a lot of people in there, Teresa. I hope you're prepared.
I'm ready. I'm so ready.
Okay, good. All right, everyone, go have a great Wednesday, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, everyone. Thanks, Teresa. Bye.